Dr. Jyoti Patil is a scientist at the National Institute of Hydrology, Roorkee. She completed her PhD in Soil and Water Conservation Engineering from Indian Agriculture Research Institute. She has about 11 years of research experience in the field of hydrological modeling, drought assessment, and watershed management. She has published several research papers in peer-reviewed international, national journals and conference proceedings. Dr. Patil is Deputy Coordinator of the Indian National Committee for Intergovernmental Hydrological Program at National Institute of Hydrology. At her institute, she is involved in wastewater treatment projects, vulnerability assessment, IWRM formulations, and rejuvenation of village pond studies.
Thank you,
Over
sir.
to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity for this recorded webinar on water for public health, preparing for disasters and pandemics. So the my topic of talk is water conservation in hospital and medical care facilities. Hospital and healthcare facilities are significant users of water, and adopting better water management practices can have a significant impact, especially in populated areas where water treatment and distribution and wastewater treatment infrastructure are often barely capable of meeting demands. So let us see what we can do for water conservation in hospital and medical care facilities. So in the presentation, we are going to see what are the water uses in healthcare facilities, what are the guidelines for implementation of Kayakalp initiative of Government of India, what are the guidelines of WHO or UNICEF for healthcare facilities, then what is the water availability at hospitals in low and middle income countries, that is LMIC, then water conservation steps, water conservation opportunities, then IGB, that is Indian Green Building Council, healthcare facilities rating system, we will see, and apart this, we will see the case studies of water conservation as well as what is the water management plan for healthcare facilities. Water is the driver of nature. More fundamentally, we can say water is a highly valuable natural resource, but a reliable supply of clean, fresh water is necessary to sustain our population and also our way of life. So, among various uses, healthcare and hospitals are significant users of water. But this lack of, but because of water shortages, water pollution, and climate change, we are facing water shortages in many parts of the world. Because of climate change, there is variability of the climate. In terms of variable rainfall, we are facing disasters like drought. In many parts of country, in India as well as in parts of world, we are facing water shortages. Because of growing population, industrialization, water quality has been deteriorated. Among apart this, we are also facing some pandemics. Click please. The pandemic like COVID, it says that wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. But a 30 to 40-second hand wash will use around 4 liters of water if the tap is on, or 2 liters of water if tap is closed. So this much of water we need in health and care facilities. So let us see what are the water use in healthcare facility. Water use varies widely depending on the type, size, geographical location, and water use equipment or practices. A water use study indicated that hospitals typically have following breakdown of water uses. Like for domestic purposes, 25% of water is being used for the sink, showers, toilets, or urinals. And for non-domestic purposes like cooling towers, boilers, food services, operating room, steriline processing, radiology, or other medical facilities, it uses about 75% of water. As per CPHEEO, that is Central Public Health and Environment Engineering Organization, which is a technical wing of the Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, that deals with matters related to urban water supply and sanitation, including solid waste management in the country. It says that hospital, including which includes laundry as well, it requires 450 liters of water per head per day if the beds in the hospital exceeds 100. The nurse or staff quarters also require 135 liters per head per day of water. Then minimum hot water requirement in the medical and healthcare facilities is about 45 liters per head per day. So we can categorize the uses of water in hospital in two main categories, that is for essential care activities as well as for the equipment and sanitary purposes. In essential or consumption category, we can see the water can be used in hand washing, then for the drinking at faucet or fountains, for food preparation, for patient care, and also for the fire suppression sprinkler system. And for the equipment or sanitary purposes, we are using water for flushing toilets, bathing patients, laundry, then reprocessing of medical equipment, medical specialties, water cooled medical gas and suction compressors, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, as well as for the IT equipment cooling system. So, summarizing all these uses, we can see about 35% of water is being used for the domestic or restroom purposes in the hospitals, followed by 20% of water is being used for cooling and heating in the hospital. Again, for 15% of water is being used for medical equipment reprocessing, then 9% for the laundry purposes, and 7% each for landscaping or kitchen and other uses in the hospital. So let us see what is Kayakalp, which is the initiative of Government of India. After the launch of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan on 2nd October 2014, Kayakalp initiative was launched by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare during May 2015 to complement these efforts of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And one of the objective of this Kayakalp is the cleanliness, which says to promote hygiene and infection control practices in public healthcare facilities. So as per BIS, the water requirement in the hospital is about 340 liter per day, per bed per day, when the bed in the hospital do not exceed 100. But if beds in the hospital exceeds 100, then the water requirement will be 400 liter per bed per day. But this requirement does not include the water requirement for the fire safety. Also, as per guidelines for implementation of Kayakalp, there should be adequate quantity of water for 24/7 hours, and there should be storage tank inside hospital premises to have capacity to store up to 48 hours of water requirement of the hospital. There should be physical testing of water once in a year. Also, microbiological testing of water every 3 months hospital should follow. And when WHO survey was conducted during 2018 in 54 low and middle income countries across 66,101 facilities, it shows that 38% of health facilities do not have an improved source of water. 90% of health facilities do not have improved sanitation, and 35% do not have water and soap for hand washing. So all these data trigger what is the need for water conservation in hospitals. Here in diagram we can see there are general 5 movements are followed for hand washing in the hospital. Before contacting any patient, again before aesthetic task, or after body fluid exposure risk, even after patient contact, or even after we are coming in the surrounding of patient, we should wash our hands. So we can see what are the uses of the water in hospital and how much water is being used for these domestic purposes. So, and let us see the water conservation guidelines given by the Kayakalp. It says the water conservation includes all the policies, strategies, and activities undertaken by the hospital to sustainably manage water, to protect the environment, and also to meet the current and future demands of the hospital. So, in the guidelines, while conserving water, it should ensure the adequate quality and quantity of water for the given point of time. Also, we need to inspect for the water wastages. Is there any leakage or drips from the pipe system? We should promote water conservation in and around the hospital premises for just like rainwater harvesting, rooftop rainwater harvesting, or groundwater recharge, or storage in tanks. We can see in one of this picture that this is the civil hospital in Himachal Pradesh, and they are implementing. They have implemented roof rainwater harvesting in their premises. So besides Kayakalp guidelines, there are guidelines provided by WHO or UNICEF for healthcare facilities. The WHO or UNICEF Joint Monitoring Program for Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene is responsible for monitoring the Sustainable Development Goals targets for water, sanitation and hygiene. These targets include both household and non-household settings, including schools, workplaces, and healthcare facilities. Sanitation, water, and hygiene in healthcare facilities are recognized through dedicated target of SDG 6. The SDG 6 calls for availability and sustainability management of water and sanitation for all, whereas the SDG target 3.8 that calls for access to quality essential healthcare services for all. So let us see what are the guideline or definition of each of these terms given by WHO and UNICEF. So for the water quality, they are saying water for drinking, cooking, or personal hygiene and medical activities. It should be safe for all the purposes which is intended. Again, for water quantity, the sufficient water should be available for all the purposes like drinking, food preparation, personal hygiene, medical activities, cleaning and laundry. And apart this quality and quantity, we should have access to the water. Sufficient water collection points and water use facilities should be available in healthcare setting to allow convenient access and use of water for medical activities, drinking, personal hygiene, food preparation, laundry and cleaning. So let us see what is the water availability at hospital and low and middle income countries. A study was published by Chawla et al. In 2016. From this, it was said that although 2 billion people now have access to clean water, many hospitals in low and middle income countries do not access to clean water. And this lack of water availability at hospitals hinders safe surgical care. So Chawla et al. In 2016 reviewed the surgical capacity literature and document the availability of water at health facilities and developed a predictive model of water availability at health facilities globally to inform targeted capacity improvements. So for this study, they have taken 430 hospitals among 73 low and middle income countries, and for developing a model to predict the water availability and health facilities, they have taken some indicators like gross domestic product, then total health care expenditure as percentage of GDP, then percent of rural population with improved access to water, and percent of urban population with improved access to water. All this data was extracted from the World Bank documents as well as from the national documents of each country. And using this data, they have estimated that percent of water availability in LMIC is more broadly range from under 20% in Liberia to over 90% in Bangladesh and Ghana. So in this graph, we can see that how the water availability in these countries, low and middle income countries, is varying. It is from less than 20% to up to 90%. For India, it was estimated that the water availability in India is about 90% for the healthcare facilities. But overall, the findings suggest that the water availability in hospitals and LMIC is generally insufficient. And it was concluded that less than 2/3 of hospitals providing surgical care in 19 LMICs had a reliable water source. For this purpose, government and non-governmental organizations should increase their efforts to improve water infrastructure at hospital, which might aid in the provision of safe, essential surgical care. Also, the future research is needed to measure the effect of water availability on surgical care and patient outcome. So till now, we have seen the various water uses in healthcare facilities. Also, the guidelines given by our Kayakalp initiative of Government of India, also by WHO and UNICEF, and what is the water availability and low and middle income countries. So let us see what is the water conservation steps in healthcare facilities. The hospitals that have conducted, the literature says that the hospitals that have conducted successful water use reduction programs, they have been able to reduce water use by about 20 to 30%. For large facilities, this can be translated to over $100,000 savings in water, sewer, or energy cost. So, based on the published reports, healthcare facilities that implement water conservation program, they can changes can expect a return of investment in the range of approximately 25 to 40%. However, to achieve such dramatic savings require a systematic approach, and these are some steps to be followed for water conservation in healthcare facilities. The first one is audit of current water use. The hospital authorities should install water meters at strategic locations in the facility. It will enable to record or read the water readings weekly or more frequently, we can say alternate days, and to analyze the data. So these data can be facilitated to look for high water use areas, also the trends of water uses and the unusual occurrences in the hospital. The next step is to identify water conservation opportunities. In the water conservation opportunities, we should include low hanging fruits, like we should check the drips, leaks or unnecessary flows in the water supply system. We should also change the operations, like we should adopt the improved practices in cleaning, laundry and kitchen. And also we should seek the opportunities requiring engineering or equipment solutions, like for toilet sterilizer or boilers. In toilets we can use low flushes, or for sterilizers or boilers we can use recycle the water in these equipments. The next water conservation step include to determine the cost of opportunities and potential return on investment. Next, we should, according to the financial liabilities, we should prioritize the water conservation opportunities in the hospital. Next, and for this, including all these steps, we should develop a phase plan. We should seek the funding for this plan, and if required, we can revise this plan. And after implementing the plan, we should document our success story, and we should also measure the success of these water conservation steps. So let us see what are the water conservation opportunities. Whenever water is used in healthcare facility, there is a probability of for conservation of water. Here are I'm giving some ideas of water conservation. It is for basic, we can see we can increase the employee awareness of water conservation. We must educate our staff, seek suggestions or assign responsibility, and also post science of water conservation in the hospital premises. We should increase patient and visitor awareness of water conservation. For this purpose, we can put the signs in a patient room and restroom. Also, we can publicize the water conservation policies. Again, we can locate and correct the drips, leaks or unnecessary flows in bathroom, laundry, kitchen or laboratories. We should repair or adjust flush mechanism on toilets so that they work as designed, and we should irrigate grounds or wash vehicle less often. So these are the basic steps of water conservation. Besides this, we should go for a domestic water reduction. Suppose for the toilets and urinals, one must install toilet tank water displacement devices on older models, or we should replace inefficient toilets and urinals with low flow models so that we can use retrofit flushometer toilets with water saving diaphragms. Also for sink and showers, one should install flow reducer where the flow is less than 9.5 liter per minute and aerators on applicable plumbing fixtures. Also, we may install automatic shut-off valves or motion sensor activated faucet for this domestic water reduction. Let us see for the process equipment, what we can do. In general, for appliances and equipment, when they are wear out, we should replace them with air-cooled or water-saving models. The first, for process equipment, for the steam traps. The steam traps are the automatic valves that release condensed steam from a steam space while preventing the loss of live steam. They are present throughout many facilities in the hospital, like air and water heating, kitchen, laundry, equipment, sterilizers, autoclaves, etc. But in this equipment, we can use the steam traps because once steam has transferred heat and has condensed to become hot water, it is removed by this steam trap from the steam side as condensate and either returned to the boiler via condensate return lines or discharged to the atmosphere. But discharge to the atmosphere, this option is a wasteful practice. So the faulty and inoperative stream traps can waste water as well as the energy. So we should develop a stream trap infection plan and replace faulty stream traps with effective and low maintenance unit. The next is sterilization equipment in the hospital. Steam condensate tamping system need to install on vacuum and gravity sterilizers because this makes use of high temperature sensing probes that causes use of minimum amount of injection water into discharge leaving the sterilizer. Also, we need to replace water induced vacuum devices on sterilizers with electric pumps. The healthcare facilities can replace or retrofit continuous flow through systems with flow control equipment. For the film processor, we can recover condensate from refrigerator, from freezers or ice makers for reuse from this refrigeration equipment. So these were the conservation opportunities for the domestic purposes, for the process equipment and for sterilization equipment. So let us see where we can use water reuse. Like in radiation therapy linear accelerator, this therapy is being used to treat the cancer patient. Here water can be taken in this accelerator. We can take the water from reject side of the linear accelerator heat exchanger and pump to the facilities cooling towers or reuse for evaporating cooling because lot of quantity of water is being used for this process. Also, in the river osmosis plants, the reject water produced in this river osmosis process can be reclaimed for non-miscellaneous potable water use in the cooling towers. For water supply system, here we can install pressure reducing valves where system pressure is higher than 60 psi. Also for the cooling towers, we can reduce excessive blowdown or we should operate cooling towers near manufacturer recommended level of total dissolved solids. Here instead of water, we can use ozone as a cooling tower treatment to reduce the water use. For boilers, we can return steam condensate to boiler for reuse. For sprinkler, we can minimize water use for irrigation by repairing the sprinklers if any faulty is available. Then we can install wet weather shut-off valves or we can use soil moisture controls which automate the water uses in sprinkler system. And overall, we should investigate the sources of used water so that we can use it for gardening purposes inside hospital premises. Again, in hospital premises, for the kitchen, one should use dishwasher with full load only. Again, for washers in the laundry, we should use the washing machine with full load only to minimize the water uses. And we can use the sensor taps to reduce the water uses at sinks and showers. So these were all the water conservation of opportunities in healthcare system. So let us see what Indian Green Building Council IGBC Green Healthcare Facility Rating System says. India is witnessing tremendous growth in healthcare infrastructure. The sector is growing at a rapid pace owing to the awareness and importance of good health and well-being. As the sector continues to grow, it will pose a host of challenges, including environmental sustainability, mostly for the water sector. To sensitize various forms of built environment, Confederation of Indian Industry (CII) established the Indian Green Building Council in 2001. So the IGBC continuously works to provide tools that facilitate the adoption of green building practices in India. The development of IGBC Green Healthcare System Rating System is another important step in this direction. And as per this rating system, it says that the healthcare facilities should capture at least 1 day rainfall either through roof or non-roof rainwater harvesting. The healthcare facilities should use flow rates, the water efficient plumbing fixtures, that is low flushing or water sensors, to meet the baseline criteria in aggregate. There should the landscape around the hospital premises, it should be a soft landscape with pervious vegetation so that the rainwater can be recharged into the ground. There should be limited use of turf on the site to conserve water, and it should ensure the landscape area is planted with drought tolerant or native adaptive species. There should be efficient management of irrigation system using highly efficient irrigation systems like central shut-off wall, soil moisture sensor, or pressure regulating devices. The hospital should consider wastewater treatment and its reuse in various purposes. And the most important is the water metering. There should be building level metering in the hospital, that is for municipal water supply or bore water consumption, treated wastewater consumption, water consumption for landscape requirements, for flushing, again for air conditioning or other uses. There should be meters available to know the water uses and its trends. So let us see some water conservation studies in India as well as in abroad. The first case study, it shows the hospital in Nashik, that is Dr. Vasantrao Pawar Medical College Hospital and Research Center. They have installed rainwater harvesting in their premises. This institute is having rainwater harvesting system where rainwater from terrace is collected through pipes in pits. We can see in this picture that rainwater is diverted to the pits. The next is groundwater recharge. Here we can see a bore well is available, and for this bore well, a recharge pit, that is a big tank is available for recharging this bore well. It is also present in the premises of hospital. Also, they have constructed bundled areas inside the premises to trap the water and to recharge the groundwater. The hospital also includes water tanks for storage of water in the premises. The next example is of Sambhavna Trust Clinic, which is located in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. The Sambhavna Community Clinic is dedicated to providing free, ethical, and sustainable healthcare to survivors of Bhopal gas disaster and ongoing water poisoning. So here we can see they have installed roof rainwater harvesting for the all hospital buildings, and this rainwater is harvested during monsoon season, and they are storing this harvested rainwater and using for dry months of the year. The recycled or grey water Again, they are using for irrigation purposes on the hospital grounds. The next example is from Delhi. It is for the Indian Spinal Injuries Centers located in Vasant Kunj. Here also the hospital has represented about 85% of the total rainwater harvesting potential has been created in the hospital premises. The requirement of the hospital and its staff quarters is being made by the 4 bore wells located in the hospital premises. But the water level was the tremendously low during 2003 before implementation of this roof rainwater harvesting system. After that, after implementation, they have observed that there is groundwater level rise for about 12.5 meter. So we can see here that roof rainwater harvesting is available for the hospital building as well as for the staff quarter area, and they are collecting the water, roof rainwater in the collecting trench, and they are diverting it to the recharge well for both premises, for hospital and staff quarter premises. And after implementing this system, they have also observed the improved quality, groundwater quality of these 4 bore wells. So these are some hospitals as per the NGT data, National Green Tribunal data in 2015, that about 17 hospitals in Delhi, they have also implemented the roof rainwater harvesting in their premises. Again, the state like Rajasthan, where the water scarcity is very high, we can say the annual rainfall is less than 300 mm, and these people are also implementing the roof rainwater harvesting in their public health centers. So the above picture is showing that how they are harvesting the roof rainwater and collecting into the tanka, that is traditional water harvesting structure of the Rajasthan. Again, some news are flashing here that Ruby Hall Clinic, it is from Pune, they are also harvesting the rainwater harvesting to keep away the tankers from this hospital. So these are very few examples from India. There are many hospitals who are implementing this roof rainwater harvesting in their premises and conserving water successfully. Besides this, we can see a study undertaken by Massachusetts Water Resource Authority. They have US Department of Energy, and they have told that there are 6 areas of water saving. The main area is the sanitary, where the significant saving can be done by upgrading the toilet, shower or faucet technology. Also, the second important area is HVAC, that is heating, ventilation and air conditioning. For heating, we can consume less hot water, which reduces the energy needed to heat water in boilers. Also, we can reduce the cooling load on a system with a cooling tower, which decreases the need for heat injection, and this in turn can reduce the water consumption. Also, we can optimize the controls for a chilled water plant, which can save both energy as well as water. So the equipment in the hospital should be STAR certified. Also, we should have the we should conduct the awareness program like water efficiency workshop or discussions for the hospital staffs and other persons related to the authorities of the hospital. We should post instructional sign in areas where water is being used. So all these means I want to say here that water conservation programs are not only being done in India or Indian healthcare facilities, but US Department of Energy and other countries are also highlighting this need of water conservation in these healthcare facilities. As per United Kingdom Health Technical Memorandum, which was published in 2013, they are saying that how we can save the water. For example, for water closet, we need 6 to 9% of liter of water for each flush. For this purpose, the potential action can be taken as we can install a cistern displacement device, which will save 1 liter of water per flush, or we can use a dual flush, or we can replace old water closets with which give a flush volume of up to 6 liter maximum. Again, for urinals, which uses typical consumption is about 500 to 900 liters per day, but we can control this water use by using flushing through foot triggers or motion sensors, by reducing the consumption up to 120 to 200 liter per day. We can also use the waterless urinals. For taps, the typical consumption is about 400 liter per day, but if we are using flow restrictors or non conclusive self-closing taps or sensor taps, which will reduce the consumption up to 50%. Again, we should detect the leaks or drip in the system. If there is a small leak, it will takes about 6 liter per hour. It wastes the water, and if there is a large leak, it wastes about 400 to 800 liters per hour. So we need to inspect all the leakage, and we need to fix them as soon as possible. Again, for boiler, the typical consumption is intense. Energy is required, which is much higher than the water alone. So here also we should adjust the boiler blow down amount and frequency to reduce the waste and to control the total dissolved solids. So it reduces the total water requirement for these boilers. Also, we can collect and reuse the steam condensate from these boilers, and we can reduce the steam losses. So overall, how to reduce the water use at healthcare services? Let us see these uses. These are categorized into reduce, reuse, and recycle. But again, the reduction is at lowest risk and recycle is at highest risk. If we, for reduce, we should avoid consumption or reduce the water uses by using water conservation techniques. For reuse, we can reuse the water with single process, or we can use harvested water for another purpose without treatment. And again, for recycle, we should treat the water and then we can use for another purposes. So there are total 10 steps for reducing water in healthcare facilities. This is the, I must say, this is the summary of all this presentation, that how we can reduce water use at healthcare facility. The first one is to conduct a water audit. A detailed water audit identifies uses and usage patterns and quantifies the potential water saving opportunities. The next is we should install data logging water meters. It will facilitate to meter the incoming water and also the ongoing monitoring. It will help to identify trends and usage patterns and leaks in the water supply system. We should check for the leaks in the water supply system. We should install the sub-metering. Why this sub-metering? Because metering of separate building and key processes, it will enable usage and trends to be monitored throughout the site. The use of meters that are connected to a building management system, it enables the easy data collection and monitoring. Also, we should install flow restrictors. A number of fixtures, for example, for hand basin, sink or washer truck, we should regulate, there is unregulated water flows that may lead to high uses. So installing the flow restrictor with balanced pressure is generally a cost-effective way to reduce water use without affecting functional requirement. Then we should install dual flush toilets. The toilet flushing may account about 20% of total use. So the use of waterless urinals may also be considered here, and also the dual flush also considered for the hospital domestic purposes. We should reclaim or recycle water from sterilizers, because a significant amount of water is used through cooling system and vacuum pumps, which are associated with high pressure vacuum sterilizers. So water may be reclaimed for non-potable uses or cooled for reuse via chilled water, cooling towers or other means. So the potential for increased energy use need to be considered. Again, we should reclaim river osmosis reject water. The reject water from river osmosis may be again reclaimed for non-potable uses like flushing, sterilizer, cooling or irrigation purposes. We should install low flush pan sterilizer because they reduce both water and energy consumption. And there should be a 3-pipe system enable potable water to be used where practicable. Because 3-pipe system comprises cold water, hot water and non-potable water reticulation. This enables the use of non-potable water such as from other processes or rainwater or bores can be used where practicable. So particular need to be taken to avoid any cross connection between these 3 pipe system. So this was the summary that what steps we should take to reduce the water uses in the healthcare facilities. And overall, using all these water conservation opportunities, using these steps for water conservation, using the success examples of water conservation in healthcare facilities, one should prepare a water conservation plan for hospitals. So I must say the water conservation plan should include the 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. Reduce means we should avoid the water consumption or reduce the water consumption. Again, for reuse, we should reuse the water without treatment for another purposes, for gardening or flushing or washing the vehicles or other purposes. And for recycle, we should use the harvested water for other purposes after treatment. So 3 R's are really required for water conservation. Again, the metering or measuring or managing water in the hospital. That means we should install meters or sub-metering of the hospital building is necessary to know the uses and trends of the water use in different facilities. We should use the enhance the sanitary apparatus, like we should use moistureless urinals or less flow toilets, or we should use the spout flow control in these apparatus. And the wastewater treatment, which is highly recommendable in this present situation, because the water conservation is really required for all the water sector usage, not only for the healthcare facilities but also for the population, for industries and other sectors, agriculture. So overall, I must say that healthcare facilities utilizes vast quantities of water, and climate change with its accompanying impacts of drought, glaciers melt or aquifer depletion, this will exacerbate the water scarcity in these healthcare facilities. So we should conserve the water and enhance or improve our healthcare facilities in our country. Thank you.